Let's go to the phones now and talk to Ed in Brazelton. Hey, Ed, how you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, Mark?
I'm great.
Well, I think this whole notion that I'm hearing about the U.S. turning Gaza into the Riviera, it's a complete joke. I mean, why should U.S. taxpayers pay for the damage that the Israeli military has done? I mean, I don't know what Trump is thinking by saying these things, because we didn't cause the damage. Why should the U.S. taxpayers be involved in rebuilding Gaza?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be involved in rebuilding Gaza. I think what President Trump said was to start a conversation. It's kind of like he actually showed more compassion towards the Palestinians than any world leader has ever shown, as far as acknowledging their situation and saying how terrible it is, the situation, where they're living. And what he did was he got the discussion started.
Right. He was saying that it's so miserable to live there, that the Gazans, the Palestinian people, have no running water. They have no electricity. He wants to rehome them. In terms of their threat to Israel, they are born and they are raised to hate Israel. And
let me ask you. Let me ask you a question, Martha.
Sure.
If it was the other way around and we were contemplating and talking about the forced displacement of the Israeli Jews to another location around the world, would you be in agreement also if the situation was reversed?
I'm not saying I'm in agreement, Ed. What I'm saying is the conversation has started in a direction that it needs to go in because it's clear the Palestinians cannot go back, and they started this war. Hamas started this war. Every bit of damage, every person that has died has been because Hamas, unprovoked, went in on October 7th and raped and murdered and pillaged innocent people. These were not soldiers. Ed, these were not soldiers that they went after.
I disagree. Hamas came into the picture in the 80s. This war has been going on since the 40s, since the late 40s.
Who started every war? Who started every war in the Arab world since 1947?
I mean, Eastern Europeans are the one that came into Palestine and displaced the local population that were already living there.
There was never a country Palestine, Ed. There was never a country Palestine.
There were people there, settled there, that were forced to move out of their homes, by the gun to another location. So this war was started by the Eastern European Jews.
Actually, no, it wasn't. It was started by the Brits.
Palestine.
It was started the Brits who drew the lines. That's who started. If you really want to do that, but the bottom line is, the Jews had been driven out of there. The indigenous people of that area are Jewish people, Ed. Okay, the people that first lived there are Jewish people. And do you know what?
I know.
Arabs...
The bloodshed did not start until the Eastern Europeans moved there after World War II. The bloodshed started when the Jews moved to that part of the world after World War II and established their own
because they were asked to by the UN. They didn't start their own state by force. You need to read some different history. The UN set up Israel and told them to come.
They forced the Palestinians out of their land. Have you read the history?
I know all the history,
They forced the Palestinians out of there and put them in a congested location, a refugee camp in their own land. The Palestinians are basically living in a refugee camp in their own land.
Yeah, and why is it Egypt doesn't want to take them? Jordan doesn't want to take them?
Why should they? They're not Egyptians. The Palestinians are not Egyptians. The Palestinians are not Egyptians. That's not the Egyptians' responsibility.
You need to get your history. You need to get your history.
They're not refugees.
Ed, you got to get your history straight. You are spouting a left-wing, inaccurate view of history. Bottom line is, I'll agree with you. The Brits drew the lines, and it's their fault. Okay, they were the ones. But the UN, which is an organization you love, the UN established Israel, and the Jews just didn't go there on their own. They had been murdered to the tune of 6 million and 4 million Catholics and gays and other people that had been murdered. Okay, that's why they were given a homeland and returned to their homeland, because the world felt guilty that they had allowed this to happen. Okay, so the bottom line is Hamas started this war, and they are responsible for what happened.